Photogrammetry is a method where by using 2D, two-dimensional pictures of an object, you can create a 3D model.
In our case, we use it to recreate a world that is inaccessible for many people.
You take a picture of an object and you try to have all sides of the object. You give these pictures to software, and what then the software is actually doing, it's trying to, in the different pictures, trying to find similarities, trying to identify the same spots on the different pictures. And by identifying these spots, it can reconstruct the 3D space and can see where the pictures was taken from. If you look at it, you typically can already recognize the shape in 3D. To really make it very nice looking, what you need to do in the end is, once you have this mesh, you need to put texture on it. Texture is like the real world graphical view of all of these pictures. The software is able to map that on this mesh.
And at a certain moment, we started to play with this technology on a dry land. And then we had the great idea, why not try it underwater? Now I'm talking like 3.5 years ago that we started with it. And now that I start to see what is possible with it, it's incredible. It's just fun if you see things from underwater getting alive. Because they really, it's when the software puts it together and you see the room the way you actually never see it, because visibility typically isn't so good that you huge rooms you can see them in one go, and so you get a view which basically you don't have if you're underwater. So it really adds to the experience.
Especially if you do it for the first time, it's really hard to think like the software and not think about what typically a video diver or a photography guy is doing. He's trying to frame the object nice in his view and etc. But now you really need to think as a software. It's not important that the picture looks nice. It's important that you cover everything.
It requires you to improve on your skills at all possible levels. You need to be able to stand or hang still. You need to control your movement. You have to prevent making dust. So it actually brings your diving to a next level.
Of course, specifically here in Nuttlar, the additional challenge is that it's a kind of cave environment, so it's dark. So you need also to take care of the lighting, so that the light is also that the object is lighted pretty well.
The idea is to survey the mine. It started a long time ago with classical survey techniques where you measure up all corridors and you take directions, azimuths, you take lengths, depths, stuff like that. And recently that work completed, and now we're looking how photogrammetry can ease up our work in surveying mines or whatever thing you want to survey underwater.
Nuttlar is different. We are not trying to cover an object only. We are actually in the object. It's a bit special. With Nuttlar project, we try to model the environment in 3D. So normally, if you have an object and you take pictures of the object, that's mainstream. But now we are like in the object. So we have to see how can we, in a good way, have good overlap to model the environment. And for that, we developed this scooter setup, as we call it, right? It's a kind of setup with multiple cameras.
We use this one to make the big structures clear in the mine, so the big corridors, the big chambers. And now we try to fill in the details with teams with a single camera, video camera, or just photos, as we're experimenting this year, to make high resolution models of smaller parts that catch the eye. We showed it yesterday, by the way, to the owners of the mines, two brothers, and they were incredibly enthusiastic on the result. They're not divers, and the last time they've been into the mine was in '86, one of the brothers told me. when it was still dry, and he recognized all the parts, so it was actually fun. So he, I think what we have is already publishable.
Does that make sense?